Welcome back to The Lead. I'm Jake Tapper. Some breaking news right now in our World Lead. Brand new poll numbers about the United States' fight to beat back ISIS, a group whose savagery has the public more and more convinced that this may be the time to send in troops. But when it comes to how the president plans to defeat ISIS, more Americans doubt that just bombing the terrorists is the way to get the job done. Let's go to Michelle Kaczynski at the White House. Michelle, these new numbers suggest Americans could be warming, I don't want to overstate it, but they could be warming to the idea of putting troops on the front lines in the Middle East.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things it shows. I mean, this is interesting because what we're basically seeing now is a country pretty much split down the middle on whether or not people trust President Obama as commander-in-chief. Also, this growing discontentment over how he's handling the biggest security and foreign policy issues, especially ISIS.
ISIS, medieval in its brutality, shocks the world almost daily now with its executions of Muslims, Christians, Jews, including Americans. And Americans, in this latest CNN ORC poll, are now increasingly disapproving of how the president is handling the fight against ISIS. 58% now feel it is going poorly, up from 49% just in October. Even among Democrats, nearly half are not happy, despite the coalition response that's been lauded by the administration.
We're taking out their commanders, their fighters, and their leaders.
And maybe because most Americans feel it is actually not going well, now there's less opposition to the U.S. potentially sending ground troops to battle ISIS. Today, almost equally split on whether that would be a good idea. 47% of Americans would like to send troops, up from 43% in November. But that's something the president has been against from the beginning. Last week, asking Congress to approve a new authorization for military force more tailored to ISIS.
The United States should not get dragged back into another prolonged ground war in the Middle East. That's not in our national security interest, and it's not necessary for us to defeat ISIL. Local forces on the ground who know their countries best are best positioned to take the ground fight to ISIL, and that's what they're doing.
What the vast majority of Americans, nearly 8 in 10, do agree on is that Congress should vote on what the long-term fight against ISIS will look like.
More bad news for the White House, according to this poll, that 57% of Americans disapprove of the way President Obama is handling foreign affairs in general. 54% disapprove of his handling of terrorism, and 60% disapprove of his handling of cybersecurity. Jake?
Some bad numbers for the president. Michelle Kaczynski at the White House. Thank you so much.